So yeah, I've taken a couple of days, just a couple of days, not that many at all, away from this YouTube account, and not even really away from it, just kind of like not spending all day on it. And so much crap has happened that I have had to take notes. I've got pages of notes, and we need to talk about some stuff. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, and the entirety of this list is in no particular order. But I'm gonna start out with F them kids. Okay, so why are we pulling kids out of their beds in the middle of the night, leaving their apartment buildings strewn with literal freaking stuffed bunnies and teddy bears and, their blankies? We pulled them out of their beds, we zip tied them, and then we put them in the vans. And I say we because, well, us Americans, we did this. The royal we. Our tax dollars paid for this. So, we did this. Okay, so we pulled them out of their beds. Woke them up in the middle of the night, pulled them out of their beds, zip-tied them, stuck them in the back of U-Haul and budget rental type vans, segregated them by race, because of course we did. Why would we do that, by the way? But we did that. Okay, segregated them. When asked what they were doing, one of the ICE guys replied, F them kids. Dude, is this who we are? Why is this who we are? This is not who we are. So a Trump-appointed judge in Oregon said that he can't use the Oregon National Guard to come into Portland, Oregon. The problem with that is the circumstances on the ground, she said, are not what he's describing, and why he said he needs to do it because it's war-torn and war-ravaged and blah, blah, blah. She said that's not the circumstance on the ground, which, to be fair, I watch a lot of creators from Portland. That what he's describing, that maybe 2020, that may be what it looked like then. But as far as what's on the ground now, absolutely not. There are some protesters at the ICE building. They've got bubbles, you guys. They've got bubbles. So after being told that he couldn't use the Oregon National Guard to come invade Portland, he decided that he was going to use the California National Guard, which is really kind of twisted when you think about it. He's literally taking the National Guard of one state to invade another state. Dude, stop. Just stop. Ugh. Okay, but anyway, I'm sure that he said this is like some creative kind of a workaround. No, bro, this is defiance of the courts. This is the sort of thing that presidents get impeached over. I will ask you this. How would you feel if Joe Biden was asking the National Guard of Oklahoma to invade Texas? How would you feel? Just think about that one. Ugh, that speech for the Navy's 250th, that was icky. That was real icky. That felt like a campaign rally and not so much a celebration of like the Navy. Nothing about the history of the Navy or anything, no stand out people in the Navy other than Trump's doctor. Of course, you can't forget him. But yeah, that was like a Trump rally. That I feel so sad for the Navy that you didn't get someone to honor you in that sort of speech. Okay, in addressing the actual point of the shutdown, the Democrats are fighting for the tax subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, aka Romney Care, whatever you want to call it. It's about tax subsidies for that, so that our healthcare coverages doesn't go up in cost. Now, the thing about that is immigrants are actually not eligible for those tax subsidies. The shutdown has absolutely nothing to do with the immigrants or the immigration problem or anything like that. Mike Johnson is lying. JD Vance is lying. It's totally about tax subsidies, and immigrants don't qualify for tax subsidies. Okay, I'm going to read this quote exact. We have to take care of this little gnat, this little problem we call the Democrats. How would you feel if Joe Biden called you a gnat? This man, as he has told you before, is not interested in unity. It actually benefits him if we are not unified as people. So ICE officials were stuck in traffic in Chicago, and they decided to throw a tear gas grenade outside their car window. They were right next to a school. And a 2-year-old, I think it was like a nursery type school, and a young child had to be hospitalized. Have you ever been to Chicago? I lived there for a bit, and I think I spent probably a third of my entire time there in traffic. If you're going to be in Chicago, it's something you better be prepared to do. Chicago has a lot of traffic. In my entire time there, I did not chuck one tear gas grenade out to the crowd. Not one. The absolute, zero. Goose egg. None. Back to Portland for a second.
He appointed the judge, and he goes like that. So I wasn't served well. Obviously, I don't know the judge, but...
You appointed a judge you don't know? Do you make a habit of appointing people that you don't know? I mean, did you ever meet her? You do know that she's a she, right? Now, talking about judges, there was a judge in South Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas, and her house exploded. She was out walking her dogs on the beach, and her house exploded, and her husband got injured, literally jumping from the house after it exploded. Trump hasn't mentioned this at all. He hasn't addressed it at all. If this were a judge in the era of Joe Biden definitely would have mentioned it. You may notice that there's a theme throughout this video. I am talking about Joe Biden a lot, but I figure I'm just kind of taking my cues from the president. We're supposed to, he's supposed to be our role model, everything, right? So I'm talking about Joe Biden a lot. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden would have talked about a judge whose house exploded in what is currently being investigated as arson. Y'all, we have finally made it to the last note in my pages of notes. Okay, so this is really just a generic public service announcement. To anybody thinking that ICE is going to arrest Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl, I don't think that's going to happen, because Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is part of the United States. It's an American territory, so he is a citizen. Yeah, I mean, he's a citizen. Y'all, if you've stuck with me through the end of this, thanks for watching. And Purple Revolution, anyone?